Hi everyone, today we talk about Disney stock and if it's a buy. Now normally I wait to say my opinion at the end of the video if I think the stock's a buy, but for this one I'm going to say straight away that I believe Disney stock is a buy. And I'll go through 3 reasons why I think Disney stock's a buy, but I couldn't really make too many negatives against Disney stock because I think it's a fantastic company. So I'm going to go through the reasons why I think Disney stock is a buy at the moment. Now Disney stock, to be fair, the only negative with the stock I would say is that it's slightly overvalued, or it has had a really good run at the moment, which kind of hints, does the stock kind of flatline for a little bit or does it go down a little bit? That could be the more likely scenario. When we look at the stock chart, it is towards its all-time highs. It has pulled back just slightly, but still just about there at $147, which is the most it's been at since it has been on the stock market. The P is 22, which when you think about it is not actually too bad. When I show you like what you get with this company, 22 isn't too bad. Like I'd probably say this stock, I have a feeling would be more around like the 30p range. But 22 seems not too bad. When we do look at a kind of P history on this company, 22 is about the highest it has ever been. But at the same time, when you consider how much is going on with the company that I'll show you in a little bit, it's like this might be, quite an okay P at the moment. And Disney does pay a dividend of 1.19%, which is not too bad of a dividend yield. Obviously, something around 2% would be a little bit nicer. But the thing is, when we consider what's going to go on with Disney at the moment, it seems like that dividend will carry on increasing, and you'll also, if you hold the shares, get a kind of a nice dividend increase while holding the shares in this company. Now, the first thing to say about Disney is that it does own some of the best brands out there, and it has got slightly more aggressive over the last few years by purchasing a few more brands and creating some really good brands as well. Sometimes we see companies suffer because they kind of fall off the cliff creating new brands, but you only have to look at some of the new brands like Frozen 2 that's come out. And I saw an article the other day saying like a lot of their merchandise for Frozen 2 was sold out. And Frozen was a brand that did not even exist 5 years ago. So they're still pulling out some great brands. As well as that, they're also purchasing some great brands. So obviously there was the Fox deal not so long ago. And with the Fox deal, they're obviously getting a few great brands with the Fox deal. Obviously Simpsons is the big one. You kind of seen them kind of bringing up a few Simpson projects now in the theme park and be able to sell a Simpsons merchandise in the Walt Disney stores, which is fantastic. So the thing with Disney as well is that it owns some of the great brands, and it's not stopping there. It's still creating some great brands, and also it's been really aggressive by purchasing more brands for the company to have. Now, the great thing as well about Disney, it has multiple income streams, and I like getting into companies that have multiple income streams because if something does go a little bit quiet, they can rely on the other kind of income streams to kind of cover that kind of slowdown in that sector. So the first one I'm going to say is the movies. Obviously, the movies has been massive over the last few years and smashed it with the Avengers. That has, brought record amount of money in for them. We look at kind of like the all-time high grossing movies. They have a lot of movies in that kind of list as well. And going forward, we've had Frozen 2 that's just come out, and that's going to be, seems to be doing really well for them. We've got Star Wars. Granted, it's towards the last end of the film. But with the amount of characters that Disney have, they are able to just carry on pulling out these big blockbuster movies, which is fantastic for the company, and they'll carry on doing that going forward. Now, great thing off the movies is that then they can go and create some merchandise, so then they kind of get that income stream and then another income stream, which is the merchandise and the Disney stores, which I've always felt that Disney, this is one thing that I've always thought about Disney, is that I feel like they could increase the amount of Disney stores they do have. But the ones that they do have seem to do really well. They're always really busy, and I've never seen a Disney store close down. And I've always felt like they could probably, open a few more if need be to kind of create a bit more income from them. But I saw that, the Frozen 2 merchandise is sold out the other day. So the merchandise is definitely bringing quite a bit of money in for Disney. And with the acquisition now of Fox, they'll also have a few more characters of merchandise that they're able to sell. The parks are another thing. Now, the parks are carried on increasing. There's always rumours of new parks opening, but the park numbers have been absolutely insane this year, and they don't stop improving them. They're always building new rides or new attractions in their parks for people to come and visit them for a second, a third time to try a new ride that's come out. Now, with like the success of the Avengers, they're trying to create a few more Avengers theme parks. Obviously, with the big buyout they did of Star Wars, which kind of seemed like expensive at the time, but you look now and you're like, actually that wasn't George Lucas actually probably sold that for a little bit too cheap. At the time you're like, oh, that was quite a lot of money, but you look at kind of what they've done with the movies now and the merchandise they've made off the merchandise, the money off that. They're kind of putting some Star Wars rides into the theme parks now, which will only help them kind of theme park numbers going forward. And the big one for me is the Disney Plus, which is obviously what everyone's talking about right now. Disney Plus is going to be fantastic. I think it's great branding. They've also already done some great, Disney Plus shows that are only available on there. The Mandalorian series seems to be doing fantastic for them. The great thing as well about that is that it's dirt cheap. Like when you compare to Netflix, it's cheaper than Netflix, which is fantastic. Price to kind of compete with them. And I think the one advantage that Disney has over Netflix, who I'm going to say straight away are the big competitors in this space, is that Disney have all these characters and storylines already there to go, whereas Netflix always has to kind of create these characters, have their own characters, which is really tricky for them, because obviously a lot of their shows, previously weren't theirs. They're starting to make their own shows and kind of have some iconic shows starting to appear, like Stranger Things, for example. But when you look at Disney, they can easily pull off a Spider-Man TV series, a Star Wars TV series. If they wanted to kind of do a backstory on the Star Wars character, that it's very easy for them to do it because they own the rights. And obviously just because of the name and the brand that they have, if they did that TV show, it would be so popular for them, and it doesn't cost them any money because they own it. Whereas Netflix have to kind of create these characters from scratch and kind of build up that reputation, which is really tricky to do. So I think that's one of the big massive things that are positives that Disney has over Netflix, and the pricing as well has been really clever from Disney as well. So I think Disney Plus is kind of like still being very underrated, because I believe that Disney Plus could be potentially bigger than Netflix and take a lot of customers away from Netflix. And I feel like that hasn't been reflected as much in the forecast of the revenue and EPS growth going forward. When we look at the revenue, it looks like it is going to carry on shooting up a little bit now because of the Disney Plus side of it. The EPS has been hit a little bit because of the aggressive purchases of Star Wars, the aggressive purchases of Fox, as well as that. Obviously, it's had to put a lot of money in setting up the streaming service of Disney Plus, but now it's kind of done that. It looks like Disney Plus will kind of bring the rewards in for all that investment, and the EPS will start to recover and start to grow at quite a high percentage, a double-digit percentage going forward. So that looks like a good thing as well going forward for Disney right now. So overall, I'm really bullish with Disney stock, and I believe that right now it's probably, I would say, one of the top 5 stocks available on the stock market right now. Ideally, obviously, it'd be better if we can buy it at a cheaper discount if it did drop slightly. That would be the best opportunity. But right now, I feel like if you're looking for a stock for your portfolio for 2020, Disney could be one of them, because it's looking such a strong company going forward now with all these multiple income streams. So that's me talking about Disney stock today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you could give the video a like, that would be amazing. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you on the next video.